Good morning. Hi, 10th graders, Miss Baycroft here. We are at the end of the MYP personal project. Can you believe it? We have one last step. So just a reminder, we've been doing those process journal. Those are the assignments that are in your handbook, or some of you have been completing them in Canvas. You have a product goal. So at this point, you should have finished your product, created whatever you had envisioned for your project. And now we're doing the final report. And so this will really consolidate and organize all of the process journal, plus add some reflection and evidence all into one place. And that is what you will submit for your personal project. And then later on in May, we're going to celebrate together your success of completing this really tremendous project. So to finalize your project, the last step that we have to do is a final report with evidence of your process and your product. So to meet the requirements for the MYP personal project and earn that MYP research seminar credit to get those 15 SSL hours, have that show up on your transcript for colleges that you completed and participated fully in our MYP program, you must complete a final report that uses the template in Canvas, and we're going to talk about that. It has to be your original work. It must be original writing. It cannot be AI or from any other source. It needs to include evidence, and we'll talk a lot about what evidence can look like of your process, so throughout your project. And then you need evidence of your completed project. And all of these are going to go into this final report that you're going to work on, and then you will submit it by Thursday, February 27th. So a couple of reminders, and I'm on page 69 in your handbook if you want to follow along, but our final report is organized into the same 3 criteria or objectives that we've been looking at the entire time. Objective A, planning. Objective B, applying skills, which was when we talked about your ATL skills. And objective C, reflecting, which we're going to do in the next couple days. You've completed process journals completing criteria A and B. So you've done all your planning, you've reflected on ATL skills, and we encourage you to copy and paste from those assignments and your own records into your final report. So the idea is that you're picking key pieces from Canvas and from your handbook and putting it into your final report for your planning and your applying skills objectives. You're not recreating anything. You should just be organizing that information into your final report. If you haven't completed some of those assignments, you missed a couple in your handbook or Canvas, do not go back and do them. Just do them in your final report. In the template, you'll see sections that are highlighted yellow. Anywhere that is yellow, that is where you need to be typing in your responses or pulling information, evidence from your process journal in Canvas or in your handbook. And then the following page shows the assignments of possible evidence, and your evidence cannot be a link. So in your final report, all evidence has to be a picture, a screenshot, put into your final report. It cannot be a link, as IB cannot open any of those links. So defining our work. Our report summarizes your work and reflects on your learning. It's really the story of your personal project. And in it, we're going to have evidence, which are specific details and pictures that support your explanations. They can be screenshots from Canvas assignments. They can be pictures of your product, your process, so your cooking ingredients along the way. They can be screenshots of your product. Maybe you did a digital project like a video or a slide deck, and you can take screenshots of them. And we're going to go through these 3 objectives. Your report in that template is separate into these, and you'll see I've listed the assignments that we've already done that you can pull from for each objective from Canvas or from your handbook in order to put those in your final report. And so again, the template is there to help you. It is required because it ensures that you meet all the requirements for IB. Do not duplicate your work, right? You're encouraged to copy, paste, use screenshots of your work that you've already completed for your planning, of your ATL journal, and everything that's highlighted is something that you need to type and fill out in your report. And in the report, there are specific guiding questions and then specific directions. There is also a checklist on page 85 and in Canvas. There's a checklist that has reminders for each section. So as you go along, you can use that checklist. You're going to turn it in when you're submitted and finished with your final report. But those are just to help you in case you are confused, but you're looking for or need assistance. There's some guiding questions there, and that checklist is very detailed to help you out. So for providing evidence, why is evidence required? So you will submit your final report to me through Canvas. I will submit your final reports to IB. You don't actually give me or IB your final product. So what you produced for your personal project. In May, when we celebrate, you can certainly and are encouraged to bring those in, but you won't submit them to me. So evidence includes showing me your process to make that product and your actual final product, because you're not turning that actual product in. It allows me, IB, your supervisor to better understand your process and your learning. Let me move this. It supports your explanations, reflections, and evaluations in your final report. So you'll use evidence, pictures, screenshots in your final report to just support what you're saying and explaining. And it also helps both Seneca Valley and IB verify your academic honesty of your project. We must verify that this is your work, that you completed your project. It is your own work, not the work of anybody else. And that evidence helps us support that and make sure that we can check off that you followed our academic honesty policy on your report. So what counts as evidence? Evidence must be in a picture format. It must be your own work capturing your process and final product. Evidence cannot be a hyperlink. Please don't hyperlink things into your report. I can't open them and neither can IB. So it must be a picture. Evidence can also not be pictures that are pulled from Google Image or other web search. They need to be your pictures or a screenshot of your own work. And so here's lots of different types of examples of evidence, and I'll include these as we go through the parts of the report. But here's a picture of a student calendar. They were giving evidence of their action plan. There's pictures showing their editing of their picture over time. You can see the process of making this mug in ceramics, a screenshot of their research, a screenshot of email as they were working on those communication skills for ATL. Here's a screenshot of the student's product. They had a journal for track, and then another screenshot of a product. Here is a picture of all the materials for a student that was making a cookbook and testing recipes. So evidence can be a lot of different things. It just has to be a picture that you put into your final report, not a link or a video. And if aren't sure what the questions are asking or how much you should be writing for each question, there is an exemplar. It's on page 75 of your handbook. It's also in Canvas on the homepage and in the module for the final report lessons. And that is an exemplar report that will just show you if you're feeling a little confused about how to answer a question or how in depth to go for a question.